Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining the live stream, live from the Hive. That was a viewer saying that was used, and I really liked it, so I'm going to use it. Just going to give people some time to join us before we get started, but thank you to those of you that are already here with me. There's a lot to talk about. Hi, I want to let you know I was in a live stream with someone. Oh, well, Lucas, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. I'm just going to give, okay, people are joining. Thank you so much. We'll get started just as soon as we get a little bit more people here so they don't miss the discussion. That Steppenwolf clip, I can't stop rewatching. Yes, can't stay long, but I wanted to come on and see how you, thank you, Lloyd. I appreciate it. I've been good. Hope you've been good yourself. Thank you for the support. Hey, Alex, I will go ahead and show your comment. People are just joining us. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Of course, there's been a lot to talk about. Zack is continuing to share stuff, and we will get into all of that for sure. Hope my microphone sounds okay. Please let me know in the chat if my microphone is up too loud, or let me know, okay? Because I can't tell. Can't wait to watch the trailer. I know we're gonna get into all of that for sure. Thanks for the updates. Love the show. Thank you, Malcolm, so much. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I try to get the videos out there for new stuff as soon as possible. I mean, I see it pretty much as soon as it comes out, but you know, it takes a little bit of time to make the video, edit it, upload it, all that stuff. So I try to do it as soon as possible. Hey, Hive, Zack dropped that. He did drop the heat, and we're definitely going to talk about that. So now that people are joining the stream, thank you guys so much. This is going to be a lot of interesting stuff to talk about, and thanks for joining the stream. So let's go ahead and let me just remind you that if you are interested in viewing or purchasing any of my merch, you can find the link in the description, as well as if you follow me on Twitter or on Instagram, the link is in my bio on those platforms as well. So you can see my merch if you're interested in purchasing any of it. Shout out to those of you who have bought some. I have seen it, and I'm glad that I hope you like it. So thank you for purchasing some of that. Yeah, lots to get into today. So let me just go back to the chat here and say hi to some more people. What's up, Gillis? Nice to have you here. Nice to see you. Steppenwolf was a beast. Yeah, I know that that's on everyone's mind, and we're going to get into it. I promise. I promise. Just want to say hi to everybody first. Let's see. I've never wanted Fran to upscale something to 4K as much as this shirt. I love Darkseid. Yeah. I think he did post something, a 4K. I think I saw that. Yeah, I think I saw it. So yes, there is a new Darkseid shirt. We'll look at that too. And of course, Steppenwolf being a beast, a true villain in the clip that Zack shared today. So we're going to get into that as well. But thank you to all the support on the channel, everyone. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up before you leave the chat or the stream. Also, if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications. You can also follow me on Twitter at SuperHiveDC. And then also on Instagram, Brooks_Hive. Okay. All right. Let me go back to the chat here. Let's see what's up. People are still joining, so I'm just giving people a couple of minutes to join us so they don't start missing the discussion. Hi, Shadow Ghost. Nice to see you. Zack Snyder rules. Yeah. I want to see Green Lantern. Well, in the movie, yeah, hopefully. But I think that's still going to be, we'll get into that too, the whole Sam Benjamin thing. What's up, Anthony? Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining the live streams often and for supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Let's see. 6 days to the trailer for me in the UK. It's 1 a.m. Well, thank you, Ronnie, so much for joining the stream. I appreciate it. If you have to leave to get some rest, then please don't hesitate to do that. I do appreciate you stopping by. And we are just days away from the final trailer. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. Is this a new headset? You look great with the mic. Well, it's not new. It was actually my husband bought these for our Xbox, but after I couldn't really get good settings with my external microphone that came with my camera, I just decided to start using these because I figured it would be easier to use and sound better. So, but thank you. Let's see. All right. So now that we have some people here viewing and watching, let's go ahead and get into what's up, AZ Brown Knight. Hope you're doing well. Let's go ahead and get into what Zack shared today, and then we'll go back and look at what he shared yesterday. He's been sharing a lot lately, but you know, he's been sharing pictures and stuff, and of course we got the posters and all of that. But now, I think this is the most epic thing we've seen in a while as far as like clips go. Oh wait, let me share this screen really quick before I make it full screen. All right, so as everyone is talking about, Zack shared this epic clip of Steppenwolf versus the Amazons from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, it's going to take a second to load. It's just a short 16-second clip, pretty much like the one he shared yesterday of, oh my God, of course it was working and now it doesn't want to. Let me refresh the page. The one he shared of Victor Stone playing football was also short, but it's still just, it's like, it shows you how epic, you know, Zack is able to make things in such a short, just a short 16-second clip. Oh, that one's not very good quality. Let me go find a better one. I think this one is a little bit more clear. I mean, it's in black and white, so it's also a little bit harder to see. And the camera's kind of far away, obviously. I like how he pans in with the camera. That's so cool. Look at that. Like, it's so different from the, look at the axe has, there's lightning, really? Like, throwing the horses with Amazons on them. Like, this is a true battle between like warriors and a villain, like a true threat, a villain that's truly threatening. Sorry, I can't even spit it out. It's like, I can't even wrap my mind around like the difference in, it's so crazy how different it is. And this, like I said, 16-second clips like are better than an entire, like a movie, like any, this is not even close. There's the theatrical version. We didn't get anything close to something like this. You know, like he has arrows all around him. And it reminds me of that concept art that we saw a long time ago of Steppenwolf with this design fighting the Amazons. And he like has a bunch of arrows in him. That's what this looks like. And that's what we're finally going to get. Sorry, that's kind of loud. Let me turn it off. It's like, I can't wait to see what else he's going to keep sharing. But then at the same time, like I know some people are kind of like, you know, I don't want to see anymore. I know, like for me, it's hard because like I want to see, but I don't want to get anything spoiled. Like this to me is not really a spoiler in any way. Like I just don't want to see something that's like spoiler territory, like something that should be saved for the movie. Like for example, Joker's look, you know, that kind of thing would be a spoiler. I don't mind that we've seen Darkseid as far as like on the shirts. Like that doesn't bother me because like, I mean, it's not really how different would we expect him to look compared to how he looks as Eustace? You know what I mean? Plus, it's going to look different in a live action version compared to like on a shirt, which the shirt is epic. I'll go see that in a second as well. How do you even beat this guy? Yeah, like he's such more of a villain and a threat compared to what we got in theaters, right? I see where I just came into the chat. What did I miss? Well, we were just looking at this epic clip that Zack shared today of Steppenwolf versus the Amazons, and I keep watching it and watching it. Like the lightning, the battle, like, I mean, this little quick clip shows alone how much more graphic it's going to be and how brutal he is compared to, I mean, it's rated R. And this just little clip alone kind of shows you along those lines why it's going to be rated R, right? So, yeah, Zack said Steppenwolf is pretty much hacking people in half. He has a giant axe, which apparently has lightning as well. So, yeah, I know. I'm wondering the same thing. I wonder how he summons electricity for his axe. I do not know. I wasn't expecting it to have something to that effect. I mean, in the photo that Zack shared, that beautiful, one of my favorite shots he's ever shared, that beautiful shot of Wonder Woman coming down towards Steppenwolf, you can see it like glowing, the axe, but I didn't expect it to be able to summon electricity, as you said. Like, that really surprised me, and it's going to look even better in the movie, like when we see it on a big screen and in action, and oh, it's going to be awesome. The throwing the horses with the Amazon still on them was the most shocking. Me too. I was like, wow, he's so strong. I can only imagine what the theme and the soundtrack will be. Yes, that's another thing. I can't wait to hear it and see it with the score. What's up, Ryan? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. I want spoilers because the theatrical is awful. Yeah, I guess that's a good reason to not mind spoilers. Eric, let's see. Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, thank you for asking. I hope you had a good weekend also. Hope you guys enjoyed your Super Bowl Sunday. Of course, a lot of it was, us waiting to see what Zack was going to share. And he shared let me go get it really quick. A lot of people, I think, were expecting him to share a clip of the a portion of the football scene, since it was Super Bowl Sunday, which he did, and I'm getting to that. And he also used that to announce the exact time on the 14th that we're going to get the trailer. So, oops, hold on. Sorry. Okay. All right. So this is what Zack shared yesterday. Oh, I didn't play the sound with it. That's okay. Yeah, this is what Zack shared yesterday. It was supposed to be early in the morning, but then, we found out there was technical difficulties, so he shared it later on. But the visual, even like I said, just in these really short clips, the visuals, the color, the slow-mo, like, it's just so much better than everything that we got. I do see your guys' messages in the chat. It just... it's a lot to look at, so I'm not trying to skip over anything or nothing like that. Let's also go back and look at there's another Darkseid shirt that has been added to the DC Comics shop. This is what Ray Porter shared. He shared the image of it, of just, a close-up of Darkseid. And wow was right. Like, I mean, we see him sitting there on his chair, his throne chair, with some parademons in the background. He looks menacing. He looks menacing. And I've seen so many people say, like on the video I posted earlier, discussing the clip of Steppenwolf, if this is Steppenwolf, what is Darkseid going to be like? You know what I mean? Like, Zack is showing us that Steppenwolf is already such a threatening villain that, imagine Darkseid. Oh my God. Seriously, it's going to be crazy. Let's look at the complete look for this shirt. So this is the latest shirt that's been added to the DC Comic Shop. There's been a few so far. It's funny that, like, there's more Darkseid ones now than any other character, so that's pretty interesting. Let's get into the chat here and see what else people are saying. Watch the movie at Celebrate. Yes, I did see that comment. Did you? Oh, I mean, yeah, the tweet saying watch my movie. I did see that. I'm not surprised. People always want to say that about Zack, that he has something against women. He always wants them to show. He always wants to show them being like subjected to, violence and abuse and stuff like that. That he's misogynistic. I totally disagree. Like, just because he shows things like these are Amazon warriors that spend their life training how to defend and fight and like, but then if this alien being comes and like attacks them, this is what's could happen. I think I hated the comment a long time ago too that showed a picture of the set of the Amazons in Justice League versus the Amazons and like Wonder Woman, and said like, a woman's gaze versus a man's gaze, whatever. That was such BS because the Amazons were never portrayed, even including Wonder Woman in BVS or in the Wonder Woman movie. Her or any of the other Amazons have never been portrayed in a sexual way or, a man's gaze. Nothing of the sort. Not even in the Wonder Woman movie. They still show midriff in the Wonder Woman movie. So I don't know what that person was talking about. Nothing about their costumes or their suits is, sexualized or anything like that. Like, and I love how when that when that argument came up, I love that a bunch of the women who played Amazons went on social media and were like, no, this is totally wrong. Working with Zack, we never felt disrespected. We felt strong. We felt empowered. We loved our costumes. I've always hated that argument. And so I'm not surprised that people are saying this already because that's just what they do when Zack puts out a movie. You know what I mean? And I think women in pretty much any other like genre, I mean, you can find so many other examples of women being portrayed from a misogynistic view in movies compared to warriors. No, they're warriors and they're putting up a fight. But some of them are going to be defeated. It's not like, he's going to come and attack and nothing's going to happen. So the Amazon, yeah, exactly. And that's how Zack wanted to portray them. And that's how these women felt on the set of the movie. And I'm sure they felt the same way on the set of Wonder Woman. Like, it just bothers me so much. Yeah, exactly. And what they had said before when this was coming up at the time was that their costumes, like they're kind of like female versions of male Spartans costumes, like in 300 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much what they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Including Connie Nielsen shut it down with, yeah, exactly. They've all said the same thing and that they've never felt, they loved working with Zack. He was totally respectful. They loved the way that they were portrayed in the movie, and I mean, they're all pretty much like ripped, jacked women. They're not just your average woman walking around. You know what I mean? So they're not being sexualized at all, and they're proud to show that they have muscular bodies. So it's just a bunch of BS. Steppenwolf says, I will bathe in your fear. An Amazon scheme. Well, I can tell you whatever he says, it's going to be a lot better than you will love me. I hate that. That's one of the worst pieces of dialogue I've ever heard, especially for a villain. Like, I hate it. I hate it so much. It is I would say it's definitely the best Darkseid shirt. I think so too. It looks very different on Vero, kind of better. Yeah, it does. It does look better. Let me see if I don't know how it'll look on the computer though. I think earlier when I tried to look at it on the computer through Vero, it still was a little, I don't know, I think it looked better on my phone as opposed to on the computer. But let me see how it looks if I bring it up. For some reason, I mean, also Vero doesn't allow screen recording. Well, it didn't on my phone. So That's why I had tried to screen record it from my phone on Vero because that's where the quality does look the best. Let's see. I don't know if I make it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but let me see real quick. See, it just doesn't look the same for some reason on the computer as it does on. It doesn't look good. I tried it, but yeah. I mean, we've all seen it, and it looks amazing. So, Separate can throw 3 horses, no problem. Darkseid can throw 20. Yeah, I'm sure Darkseid's going to be insane. And yes, the score. I can't wait to hear the score. And it sounded great with the football scene too. Thanks, Chuck. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. And yeah, I can't see for some reason it just gives a description of the little sticker, but then I can go see it like on my YouTube studio. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. So, oh yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, see, I always thought that was a piece of dialogue from Zack's version because it just sounded a little bit more menacing compared to the other types of stuff that he said in the movie. But like, it didn't, so it sounded good as dialogue for a villain of his nature, but there was no like action to show that. So now it'll make sense because we'll see that. So, oh, they did. I did not see that. The official Zack Snyder Justice League Twitter account captioned the video, "I will bathe in your fear." Oh, okay. I did not know that. I'm going to go look right now. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to some other stuff because there's a lot to talk about. But I know that was the first thing we definitely have to talk about because it is epic. I can't wait to see more. And again, the trailer will be this Sunday at 9:14 a.m. Pacific time. So depending on where you are, like figure out the time difference. What's up, Terrence? Nice to see you. Thanks for the support. I love how Zack has incorporated similar style fighting scenes from his previous movies like 300. Yeah, I think there's definitely a certain style for like choreography and stuff that he gravitate to. If we see Apocalypse, will be insane. I'm happy if we get it. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be crazy if they show even a little bit of Apocalypse. I hope. Oh, hey, Eric. I got some good news today, but I'm not going to share it on here. So, but I think you know what I'm talking about. I hope the chasing of Amazons is Zack's. The chasing. Oh, okay. I think part of it might be, but it probably just looked different in the theatrical version because they wanted to change the way the colors looked and all of that. Hunter, did you read my question? I might have to go back up and look because the chat is moving very fast and it's hard for me to see. I saw it on my phone really crisp. Yeah, it looked better on my phone too. For some reason, like the video quality looks very different on the desktop compared to the mobile. Not sure. Let's see. Hunter, Iggy, I'm trying to find your question, but it's hard because the chat keeps moving, so I apologize. A Batman shirt? No, I haven't bought a Batman shirt yet, but I'm waiting on my Zack Snyder Justice League shirt, so that has a Batman symbol on it. That kind of counts, right? Credit to the Amazons. Let's see. They tripped. They were freaking holding Steppenwolf back. Yeah, exactly. Like they're really putting up a fight in this one. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very different. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm sorry. Imagine how good it's going to look in 4K. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and that is also, Zack said, that's him working on the Justice is Gray edition. So I guess that's maybe what the black and white version is going to be called, Justice is Gray. Pretty cool, because he did say that there's going to be a black and white version, a monochrome version, but I still don't know how that's going to become available. Like if it's also going to be on HBO Max, like there's going to be 2 options when you go to watch it, or if it's just going to be like digital, or I'm not sure how that's going to be. The score is definitely going to be epic. I can't wait. Hunter Iggy, if you'd like to post your question again, I'll try to see it this time. Okay, so yes, okay, I see people talking about Quicksilver, WandaVision, all of that. I do want to get into some of that stuff. Someone you talk to. Yes, Eric, you're correct. You're correct. So I do want to see, I do want to talk about, I'm not going to play the trailer though, because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. But I do want to talk about a little bit about the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer that dropped yesterday. I know the first one we got was more of a teaser, but it didn't hook me. It didn't interest me as much as this new trailer, I think, interested me a lot more. And it's like, in the way that it looked more like a movie than a TV series. Like, it's crazy to me. Thank you, Eric. I will let you know the details via DM. Oh, that's, I think, what you meant to put DM. You said PM, and it kind of threw me off. I was like, what? Thank you, Eric. I'll give you the details on Twitter. And thanks for your help, too. Appreciate it. Just switch to YouTube to say hi. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Familiar face. I see you on my channel a lot, so thank you very much. So going back to the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer, like I said, I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. With YouTube, but it did interest me a lot more than the teaser that we first got before. Which I guess, you know, teasers are just a little quick snippet, but I kind of forgot that I was watching a trailer for a TV series, and like I felt more like I was watching a trailer for like a movie. It definitely felt like one of their movies compared to. Sorry, I was reading something. It definitely felt like more of a movie to me than a TV series. And I'll say in the MCU, especially with like, you know, Captain America stuff, I was not always a big fan of how much the Captain America stuff was centered around Bucky. Like, to me, it just felt like there was too much stuff centered around Bucky. Like, and I don't mind him as a character, but like, I don't know. I felt like they focused on him a little bit too much sometimes. And so I was never, it's not that I had anything against his character. I was just like, why is everything always about Bucky in the Captain America movies? Like, you know what I mean? But I will say that I think this show is going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be obviously very different from, you know, WandaVision. It's going to be more action. I think it's going to be more along the lines of what you kind of expect to see right off the bat from a Marvel property. WandaVision has gotten a lot more interesting the past 2 episodes. It was a little bit of a slow burn in the beginning, which is fine because it's a series and it's fine for stuff to kind of like take its time. You know what I mean? But like the fourth and fifth episode now are definitely more interesting for sure. So Bucky Barnes and Steve Trevor's relationship. Yeah, okay, I do like their relationship. Don't get me wrong. And like I said, I don't mind him as a character. I just felt like they focused on him a lot in like the Captain America stuff. Like, okay, Winter Soldier is probably one of, you know, the top Marvel movies in my opinion. So that's why, like, and Winter Soldier is a really good movie. And that's all about like finding out that Bucky is Winter Soldier, right? Great. Crazy reveal. But I don't understand why they went the route with Civil War, that so much of it was about him, about Bucky. Like, it just, I don't know. I don't want to start complaining about anything. It's just, that was my opinion kind of in the past about like his Winter Soldier / Bucky in the MCU. But this show, I felt the trailer was good. there was just certain, like, there was a couple things I wasn't crazy about. Like, for instance, um, I wasn't crazy about like the scene at the end where they're in a therapy session and they're having a staring contest. Like, it's Marvel, so I'm not super surprised. They tend to throw in like quips and jokes and stuff like that. But it's kind of little things like that that sometimes I'm kind of like, is it necessary though? You know what I mean? But I definitely feel like it's going to be an action-packed show. It looks like a movie quality production. And so I do have to give, like, I think Marvel, like, what they're doing with their universe, kind of like they're kind of like using the series as like their next phase, which is really cool. Like, I think that it's a really good idea the way they're doing it. I wish we learned more about Bucky. I like anti-heroes. Yeah, that's what, like, yeah, I don't mind them either. I think he's fine as a character. I just, I think maybe it'll be a little bit more interesting now to see him as like, he's not just it's not just, focusing so much on him in a Captain America movie. Now it's kind of, more about him. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm going to watch it, but you know what I mean? Like, are you excited for the Loki series? Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting too, to be more like magical, mystical kind of thing. Let's see. Let me take this question real quick. How would you feel if Zack Snyder directs a Transformers film? Oh, that's interesting. I've never thought about that. I do think I think he'd do an awesome job. He likes to make long movies, which they're usually long. He likes action, and I think he likes to do story and character driven types of things. So I think he could probably make it interesting. But I just wish they would have never got rid of Shia LaBeouf. Like, if they weren't going to make any more with Shia LaBeouf, they shouldn't just make any more at all, in my opinion. I don't want the buddy cop humor to ruin the story. Yeah, that's kind of what I got from it too. Like, it looks interesting, it looks entertaining. I'm gonna watch it. I just hope they don't go like, I don't want that to take you out of what's going on. You know what I mean? But also, going back to Zack Snyder's Justice League, Zack Snyder has kind of put a big rumor or a big speculation to rest. And it's actually something that I was very convinced of. I was very convinced, and I made videos about it, and I've talked a lot about it on streams and everything. I was very convinced that Sam Benjamin was going to be a Green Lantern character. Whether or not we saw him suited up as Green Lantern, I was not expecting. But Zack did share, he put that kind of to rest now. Someone asked him, "Hi boss, is Sam Benjamin Green Lantern?" And he just flat out said no. So, I mean, why won't it switch? Hold on a second. I'm trying to bring myself back in. I was really expecting him to be a Green Lantern character. I didn't know if he was going to be Hal Jordan or not, but, I am surprised that he's not. So there was just a lot of stuff. It's a Sam Benjamin question again. Yeah, there was just a lot of things that, in my opinion, were pointing to the direction that he was going to be a Green Lantern character in the movie. But Zack Snyder has said that's not true. So either way, I was waiting for someone to say it. Either way, I am happy for Sam Benjamin that we get to see, and he gets to see his character in the movie, because he was very excited about it. He's talked so much about, working with Zack, being in the movie. And so I'm just happy that he gets to see his character in the movie, and then we get to see him as well. So I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad. I will continue to say I think it's just going to be a mystery until we get the movie itself. Savage and straight to the point. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, he will shut things down if they are just not true most of the time. You know? So, well, that's an interesting point. I wonder if Green Lantern stuff will be replaced with more, perhaps Martian Manhunter stuff. I don't know. I mean, what's his name? Taylor Murphy from Cultured Nerd had said that no one was ever actually cast as like a Green Lantern. So they couldn't say, you know, so-and-so is a Green Lantern because they never cast anyone and made and had a contract. So I don't know. I have no idea. I just think it's going to remain a mystery until we watch the movie, because now that we know for sure Sam Benjamin's not Green Lantern, I don't know. I have no idea. I think Martian Manhunter will be the 7th member, to be honest. Could be. I mean, when Zack shared the picture of Cyborg and he put the Martian Manhunter quote with it, that to me was pretty interesting, because he's saying that there's a war coming, which, like, I mean, I thought that we were only going to see him revealed as Martian Manhunter, meaning when he's, you know, leaves Lois's apartment and we see him transform into Martian Manhunter after being disguised as Martha. I didn't think we were really going to see much more of him after that as Martian Manhunter. So I'm pretty surprised. That really surprised me, that dialogue coming from Martian Manhunter. It shows that we're, you know, there's going to be more to his character and how he's involved than I originally, or probably most of us originally thought. So, oh, that's also interesting to think about. Special features that would be included. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because, like, it's interesting to think about. Anytime you look for behind the scenes stuff for shooting Justice League, you always find stuff that's Zack and everybody. Like, I have yet to find. I mean, there's a picture. I don't know if it was from that set though. It might have been from a different set. I've never seen anything that's like from the reshoots with Joss Whedon. You know, so that is pretty interesting. A lot of the stuff and a lot of that behind the scenes stuff is stuff that was not in the theatrical version. It's going to be in this version. So that is interesting to think about too. Let's see. Maybe the Martians had an encounter with Darkseid. I mean, I won't be surprised if Martian Manhunter knows who Darkseid is, because he is a Martian and he's been around a long time, most likely. So I heard perhaps 1 to 3 scenes. Okay. I'll take that, because we didn't get him at all, even as Swanwick in the theatrical version. So I will take as whatever Zack's able to give us for Martian Manhunter. I'm here for it. You know, because we didn't even get him as Swanwick. Yeah, it is going to be cool to see his steelbook. It's going to be awesome. So, yeah, Sam Benjamin is not Green Lantern. Oops, sorry. I hate Sam for lying. I don't think he lied. I think he was kind of just... I don't think he lied. I think he was kind of just, you know, going along with what people were saying. But like I said, a lot of stuff that I had seen, kind of, that's what made me think that he's supposed to be Green Lantern. But I don't know. And the picture that... Oh, no. Well, that's, I guess, Taylor Murphy kind of said it was supposed to be Jon Stewart all along. So when Henry Cavill posted the picture a long time ago next to a Green Lantern thing, and he said, like, you know, I got to be bigger than Green Lantern or whatever. Let's see. But I like it. It's just going to be a mystery to watch the movie. Do you think there's going to be a White Martian in the DCEU? Not right now. I think it would be a while before we ever see that, if they ever decide to do that. Or they might do it like in a series or something. I don't know if they'd put a White Martian in a movie. But Harry Lennox is kind of like trying to get fans to kind of campaign in a way for a Martian Manhunter movie. So if they ever went that route, maybe that's when they could bring that in. I'm excited for the Star Labs battle. Can't believe they cut that out. I know. We're going to be saying that the entire movie. We're going to be like, why? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's not Green Lantern yet. Well, I guess you could say that. Yeah. Why would Martian Manhunter visit Lois? Well, because he's kind of, the way Taylor Murphy described it, which makes sense, is he's trying to kind of, he disguises himself as Martha because they're kind of sharing this loss, right? Clark. And Martian Manhunter knows, he's kind of sympathizing with her and how she feels losing him. He knows Clark is Superman. So I think he's just sympathizing with her, but he can't do that as Martian Manhunter. And I think it would be strange if he tried to do that as Swanwick in that way, like going to her house, you know what I mean? So I think, like, and it made sense, like I said, when Taylor Murphy described it, he's just kind of sympathizing with her and grieving, sharing that loss together. They know how, because he knows how she feels. So kind of in that way. But he's, of course, he's disguising himself as Martha because it makes the most sense for Martha and Lois to share that. Harry Lennox HBO Max series. I'm here for it. I love how excited he always is to talk about, like, being in this movie at all. Like, he's just always so ecstatic about it. It's awesome. So, yes, and he knows, let me see. Loss as being one of the last. Yeah, exactly. Him and Clark, him and Superman or Kal-El, whatever you want to call him, they shared that as well. Like, Martian Manhunter's kind of like the last of his kind, and so is Kal-El. So, he just feels that on a personal level, like it's close to home for him. I can't remember. Wasn't Swanwick at Clark's funeral? He was the one who. Okay, remember there was 2 funerals happening at the same time. So they went back and forth between Clark's funeral in Smallville and then the military. Okay. Sorry, hold on. So Swanwick was at the funeral that was in D.C., Washington, D.C. So you remember, he's the one, he's like there. He's kind of leading the way at the funeral. He's helping them fold the flag and all of that. They're having like a soldier style funeral for him. He's there at that one. The man has a cool voice. Yeah, definitely. His voice is perfect. He's so perfect for the role. I love it. What's your favorite Snyder film? Man of Steel. And I think, Zack Snyder's Justice League is also going to tie for first with that. Yeah, wait for the IMAX remaster. That should be out like very soon because it's supposed to be out before Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right, so I just want to kind of share some information that I have come across personally from a very reliable person. I will not share that person. So, well, let me just reply to Anthony from ACS really quickly. I have come across some interesting information in regards to, Zack Snyder's Justice League and Godzilla vs. Kong. So, first of all, HBO Max, like kind of all of them involved, are apparently very worried on, they're very worried about how Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to perform. Simply because Wonder Woman 84, even though we saw things like, it was streamed the most during a holiday week or whatever out of other things, it did not perform as well as they had hoped. As far as numbers go. So it did not hit the numbers that they wanted it to. I think given the circumstances, it probably did okay. As far as theaters and stuff like that go, but like on HBO Max, I know they said they put it out there that it surpassed expectations, but the information I was able to get from a person who is inside of this, Wonder Woman 84 did not perform as well as they hoped. And so what they are worried about is that the same people who signed up for Wonder Woman 84 are the same group of people that are going to stick around for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So they're worried that the numbers are not going to really increase, that they're kind of going to stay the same because they're expecting it to be the same people who signed up for Wonder Woman 84. Okay, so they need South American fans. They love to see. Yes, exactly. I know. And I hope that you guys are able to have access to this like as soon as possible, because there are markets outside of the US that are, I think, a lot more supportive. What's up, Ryan? Thanks for joining. So from the information I was able to get from a person very inside of this world, I think it helps that Snyder Justice League doesn't have pressure to make the money that Wonder Woman 84 did at the box office, right? But what if they do decide to put it in theaters? Let me read the message. The theater time is pretty much assured, but since it's 4 hours, it's probably limited. And this is about numbers. So if it doesn't drive subscribers to join, this has a lot to do with why Godzilla vs. Kong was moved up to March. And I think all of us kind of assumed that when we saw that it was being moved up to March. And then even when they changed it to March 31st, they still were like, no, we're keeping it in March. So from what I know, Godzilla vs. Kong was moved up specifically because they are worried about Zack Snyder's Justice League how it's going to, if it's going to drive numbers up on HBO Max or not. They are worried that it won't, just because they feel like it's the same population of people watching Wonder Woman 84 that are going to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, so they moved up Godzilla vs. Kong to kind of sandbag the numbers, the statistics, the subscribers, the views for March, because Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out in March. So when they release the numbers for March, it's kind of going to be, it can come across as deceiving because they kept Godzilla vs. Kong in March as well. Okay, so I also have some information as far as the difference in budget that they're willing to spend for marketing on Godzilla vs. Kong and Zack Snyder's Justice League. But first, before we get into that, let me go ahead and bring in a good friend of the stream, Ryan from Zeverfet. What's up? Oh, let me check. Quick, hold on. All right, that's better.
How's it going? Oh, nice. Can you hear me?
Yeah. My volume was down.
Right on.
Let me move this back so it's not so much echo. Okay. What's up, Ryan?
Not much. Just got some exciting news today about Green Lantern possibly not being in the film.
I know. We were talking about that earlier too. Well,
yeah. What's up,
people
Alex?
In the chat.
Yeah. So no, we did a whole video about, because I knew Ryan Reynolds wasn't, going to be in it. He was just trolling people and everything like that. But Boss Logic did do concepts. What's up, Lord Koj? Boss Logic did do some concept art of Hawkman. And that was sort of a rumor that was, being thrown around of, what possibly, Ryan Reynolds could do. I was like, well, my thing was like, it would have been really cool for him to have been Green Lantern in the Black Adam movie, but not as Hal Jordan as Alan Scott, because that's part of the Justice Society. So I was like, that works. But and he was, like he said, he'll do anything practically for The Rock. But apparently, their schedules didn't work out and all that. So Ryan Reynolds is not going to do anything apparently. So for now.
Well, yeah. I was pretty shocked when that started coming out. Like I don't see him fitting in with.
Well, the only way that Ryan Reynolds ever fit in for me logically was when they announced like Michael Keaton you know, and Michelle Pfeiffer joining the Flash movie because it's a multiverse type movie. So I was like, multiverse, that makes sense. He's in a different universe. He's Green Lantern of that universe. You know, so it makes sense for, you know, the Flash to sort of jump in and out of, you know, the different universes or whatever. Universi. What's up, Prime? But yeah, so that's the only thing that actually made any point of logic for me, was that if you wanted to bring it in, you know, there's two options. It wouldn't be, you know, he wouldn't be Hal Jordan of the Zack Snyder universe, because then that would make that other movie canon or something like that. So it was just, you know, if he's in the Rock movie, he could, you know, he could definitely be Green Lantern in that universe, but just a different Green Lantern. Or in the Flash movie, he could be, you know, Hal Jordan, you know, and maybe make a cameo appearance or whatever, just for fun. But then, yeah, but Sam Benjamin made so much sense to me in that, you know, I mean, you know, he was, you know, working out, getting buff, and he had like a 30-minute arc. And I was like, why would they, you know, why would they give this guy a 30-minute arc in the film if he's just some ancillary soldier guy in the background? It didn't make any sense. So, and I've heard, you know, the latest reports as of last month was that in order to get, you know, more Martian Manhunter, they gave some of the lines that Green Lantern would have had to you know, Martian Manhunter. So that one quote where you see Cyborg and then it has like a war is coming, and that's Martian Manhunter. I've been told that was like a Green Lantern line that they just repurposed for Martian Manhunter.
Okay, that's possible. And give him more. I saw someone in the comments saying that could be a possibility too, that they're kind of reusing some of that stuff to give Martian Manhunter more
presence.
Yeah.
Because one of the things is that with the Snyder cut, he couldn't hire anyone new. So he had to reuse actors that were already paid because all the actors were to be paid again for this second incarnation of the same movie. So it's kind of like they did another movie, but you know, only a couple people came back for the additional photography for Zack. And Green Lantern was supposed to have been additional photography back in 2017. But he didn't cast anyone. They had somebody for like future, what do you call it? Like future nightmare sequences and things like that for Green Lantern, because he was supposed to be in the future. They were in the original, you know, lineup. They had the Green Lantern Corps movie as part of the slate, like Cyborg and Flash and all that. It was all supposed to sort of world build into Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2. But you know, that got railroaded. So I mean, it's interesting to see how this stuff, you know, is going on behind the scenes. I've heard things about, like, you know, Zack wanted Jon Stewart in it, but again, he wasn't filmed either. Yeah, there it is. And I'm appreciative. You know, Zack would have been quiet, but I'm glad that he wasn't in this case, because it was a no. Because Green Lantern was the one thing that no one knows. I mean, you heard like Grace Randolph flip-flopping, you know, it's like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is definitely in the film, and then he could be in the film, and then there's no Green Lantern in the film. And you know, you just kind of see her kind of jumping back and forth, like, you see, I was right in that video. And so a lot of people didn't really know which way to look, and Zack really wasn't giving anything out, and it was great that no one knew, because it was like, it's kind of like the Joker. You know, he was another actor that they could bring in because he was already signed for the projects. They didn't have a Green Lantern signed, so they couldn't bring him in for the additional photography either, because that would make more red tape to cut or go through and sign somebody who wasn't in the project and pay them accordingly. Yeah. So and the same thing. It was what's up, Steve Knight or Steel Knight. And then that's another reason why they did not have a Super Bowl trailer, because those things cost millions of dollars to put on air because of the event. So I knew he wasn't going to have a trailer.
Yeah, no.
You know, this is grassroots all the way.
Yeah. So. And I think that's why, like, I didn't really have any expectations for anything to be shown during the Super Bowl yesterday. Mm-hmm. So that's why he shared something on social media.
Yeah, no, like, and if he had kept quiet,
his fans will just put
right. The more information that we're given, like I caught a glimpse of the fight with the Amazonians and Steppenwolf. And I immediately scrolled up. I didn't want to see it because I was like, dude,
never mind.
I'm going to see this thing in like a month. I don't want to see more footage. I don't need to see it. I'm like, I'm sold. We have another trailer coming out. Quit giving us so much, to see. Bruce Wayne, yes. I do still talk. I sent Phil a message today. So, but yeah, no, I do want to see the trailer, but I kind of don't. It was kind of like the same thing with Aquaman when that thing came out. Like the last month in December, I wasn't looking at anything. I didn't want to see the TV spots. I didn't want to see anything because I hate being spoiled too much because of the Doomsday trailer like ruined it for me. I was like, dude, no. I was like, why did you give me the Doomsday before seeing the movie? Because if they had not said anything about Doomsday, that could have been a great aha moment, of like, wow, I didn't know that they were going this direction. But instead we get, because they didn't have to put him in the trailer at all. They could have kept him hidden. They could have just kept the trailers just kind of like, the Godzilla Kong, just about them. Don't show Mecha Godzilla. Show Kong and Godzilla. There should be enough footage of that, and to sort of keep the other surprises hidden and keep them as surprises.
Yeah, I think they could possibly do that, so they don't have to have an actor play Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Like if he's like a CGI type of thing.
Right. I think they're going to have, if they have a Green Lantern, they're going to have a Green Lantern sort
alien
of like
ones.
Like in the Justice League,
alien Green Lanterns.
Yeah, we'll see one or a couple maybe in the beginning, if as far as like the history lessons. We'll see the Green Lanterns because they do reference it like no Green Lanterns, So they did have that.
Yes,
and it won't be the same lantern as what you saw in the Justice League. Zack already confirmed that as well. He's like, that's not my lantern. So different. Yeah, so at least we know that. Let's see, but yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what's going to happen, how that's going to play out, and where they might fit in. I'm interested. I'm curious. So
and as far as Doomsday being in the BVS trailer, I think the studio probably wanted that.
I heard that Zack was upset that they kind of released that
because of the competition with Civil War.
Civil War, yes.
To kind of like look, like to really bring people.
Yeah, because I remember where I was. I was in the other room watching it on the computer on my laptop, and I was like, "Oh, Doomsday! Ah, damn it! Why'd they have to show me that?" Yeah. And so finding out it's not the actual Doomsday and all that, from the Man of Steel watch party and everything, that kind of got my hopes up a little bit because I always thought that that shouldn't have been Doomsday. That should have been like a Zod Bizarro kind of hybrid, not a Zod Doomsday hybrid. So I thought that would have been kind of cool. And just have them fight that. And then, Lex, gets Zod's old, suit that he was wearing from Man of Steel and uses that so that he can go toe to toe with like Batman or Wonder Woman or, whatever. That would have been cool.
I think, I've seen some people say that they kind of wish Lex would have had a suit, but I don't know. For this Lex, I just didn't get that vibe. Like, I didn't really picture him like, I don't know.
Well, he seems more frail, just sort of like, he's moving, he's definitely not buff. And that's what they should do. They should kind of like, since he's in prison, they should send, give a couple of scenes where he's out in the yard, like, lifting, and buffing out. Yeah.
I just don't get the vibe of
he's just like, here's a Jolly Rancher.
Well, going back to the marketing and stuff for the Snyder Cut, I was told that, I guess this is not surprising either, since they moved up Godzilla vs. Kong to March, and they have, every month they have a marketing budget for stuff that they're putting out. About 60% is going to Godzilla vs. Kong, and only like 40% is going to Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I guess it makes sense why. Yes.
From who? From Warner?
I've heard that
Warner's putting in 0. That's why they don't retweet. They don't care. They're not doing.
I was
anything.
also told that all of the funding was from AT&T.
I can see AT&T pushing it through because they're the ones that greenlit the project to for HBO Max. And yes, the Kong is also going to be on HBO Max as well, and that's all shared. That AT&T is the umbrella company. So I mean, Kong versus Godzilla is a new movie. Zack Snyder's movie is one it's a hybrid. This has never been done before, so I don't think they want to put all their eggs in that basket.
That's why I was told that Godzilla versus Kong being moved up to March had nothing to do with Legendary being upset.
Yeah.
It had all to do with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and they're worried that it's not going to do the numbers that they hope. So they want Godzilla versus Kong. That's why even when they pushed it back to the 31st, they're like, we're not even going to put it in the beginning of April. Like, we need it to stay in March.
Sure. I mean, that could be for the the executives that that they need to please. Because they have different quarters, and each quarter has to show profit. The big barometer is going to be the new trailer that releases on the 14th. How many times are people going to watch it? How many unique IP addresses are going to watch the trailer? Because they look at that. You go to YouTube, look at Kong versus Godzilla. That's like 60. Who's this guy? What's up? Yeah, I'm not in the movie, mate. Not in the movie. Sorry. Maybe next time. But yeah, no. So like King Kong and Godzilla had like 65 million views. Something like that. Some huge number. This brand new trailer that came out that like favored Kong. It was like kind of like one of them hype things. Like, you ready for the? It's gonna kick some. I was like, Godzilla and Kong would be like. Just roll the credits. So I think that it's not going to be a huge number like Godzilla versus King Kong, because Godzilla versus King Kong that's global. That's they're going to make a crap ton of money in the international market as well. Because Godzilla versus King Kong, they're iconic. They've been around for ever since black and white stop motion animation. There's a built-in fan base. Everybody wants to see, and hell, I'm gonna go see it hopefully in IMAX. Because that's what these big budget monster films are supposed to do. You're supposed to feel dwarfed when you're in the theater because these characters are so huge. With Justice League, it's a huge fight it's like an educational fight, because there's still a lot of people that are like. Because people don't know that it's different. They don't know that it's a different movie. And some of the things are different. Like okay, look at the scene where you have Steppenwolf, jumping in that, booming into the Themyscirian chamber. You have Liam Neeson's Steppenwolf, and then you got the new spiky Steppenwolf, and it's the same shot, but just two different generated CGI. So what is this, just like updated effects, like the Star Wars special editions or something? What am I doing here? Why do I want to see a 4-hour movie of something that I thought that was subpar, that had the Flash trying to motorboat Wonder Woman, and why do I want to see Flash looking awkward and I don't know, it's just why do I want to see this? Why do I want to see a fat fleck laying down saying, so something's broken or something's bleeding. Nobody wants to see it, so why would they want to see a longer version of that?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why, for me, it's kind of backwards that they're not willing to market it more. You know what I mean? Like,
well, if they put all that money into education, you still have to lead that mule to the trough. They could have all the information, but they could still, like, come on, this is new, and just you can't. It's what needs to happen is that's the only good thing about this is it's not a 30-day and done like Kong and Godzilla will be.
It's an original. So
it's an original, and it stays.
Yes.
So just like BVS, just like Man of Steel, the fan base is going to grow as this thing progresses, because word of mouth is going to be what kind of carries into the water cooler conversations for school, work, wherever. And then that's how that's how this thing is going to gain a lot of traction, you know, and hopefully hype. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of an uphill battle, but you know, Warner Brothers is relying on the first like month numbers
Yep.
to gauge interest, because they have their lineup set. They're ready to go. The Snyderverse has a lineup. It's set. It's ready to go. It's like, which way do I take the blue pill or do I take the red pill? You know, that's what they're waiting on.
Yeah.
And then we'll get Matrix 4 at the end of the year, which nobody cares about. I don't know where they can go with that film. It's like, Neo wasn't the one, but isn't that an acronym? Can't you change the letters around and that's one? Or Eno?
Yeah.
I think it's
I was told that, yes, AT&T footed the bill for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So that should include us, most likely marketing as well. But I mean, hopefully, like I think you said, I kind of agree with the fact that since it's probably going to take some time for more people, for more common viewers to watch it.
Yeah.
Because like they're just, you know, they might have HBO Max and they might just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Like, I'll watch it.
There's got to be a reason for them to want to watch a 4-hour movie. You know, I mean, you've got your hardcore fans, hardcore DC fans and hardcore Zack Snyder fans. And then you have both. And then, you know, so they've already invested. They're going to, you know, they're going to sit down. They're going to take their, you know, pee breaks, whatever, and watch it in their homes. But then you have other people who are just like, you know what? I can't invest 4 hours into this. You know, some people binge watch.
That's another thing I was told is that it might not be as common for some people to sit down and watch a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
You know, like us fans were invested. And so we're like, yes, please give me all what you have. You know,
well, the only good thing is that I've heard that they might have title cards like in between, you know, to, you know, you know,
I heard about that too.
Yeah. So if they do that, then that could be where you pause it, go do something else, whatever, you know, because that'll be a good bookend for that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right.
Maybe where the episodes would have cut off or something along those lines.
Because I think that was one of the things that he didn't want to do was like make bookends for each individual episode. Because you know, there was going to be 4. So he didn't just want to like, you know, cut it off and then leave it like at a cliffhanger here or there or whatever. So, I mean, it's going to be good. The next test after the release is going to be how long it stays, you know, popular, you know, like as a most watched show. And then also when they go to physical media and it's, you know, it's time to purchase the Steelbook or it's purchase, you know, the 4K or whatever it is, they're going to gauge that, like how much interest is there for people to buy this. I mean, you know, we're buying shirts and little footballs and all kinds of cool paraphernalia and things like that. And that's great, but we're not going to, you know, stockpile, you know, DVDs and Blu-rays and 4K and all that, you know, just to make it look good. You know, we're going to have our copy and then we're kind of done. And maybe a couple, you know, would buy as a gift to somebody else who they know is a DC fan or a Zack Snyder fan or whatever. And like, hey, here you go. And that's kind of it. But, you know, it just really, that's the next sort of test for Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, I agree. And some people have commented on my channel and they'll be like, well, it's not on Google Play anymore, you know, and like they're kind of freaking out. And I'm like, it will be back.
Yeah. They're working things out.
Yeah, there was no release date. You know, I think they were just trying to kind of get a feel for how many people were, you know, searching for it or adding it to their wish list or the kind of attention it brought. It's going to be back on there, obviously. Yeah. I don't think they just put it there for, you know, kicks and giggles and like, oh, okay, you know, we're just kidding. It'll be back on there. Did? Yeah, it'll be back on there.
Oh, okay.
There's a release date now. You know, there's more marketing happening, trailers and all of that. So it will happen. But yeah, that's what I was kind of told is that they're worried that the same people who signed up for Wonder Woman 84 are that same group of people are mostly who's going to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
So they're like, how do we get new subscribers to sign up for this if most of the people that already have it are the people who signed up? You know, the Wonder Woman 84 crowd are the same people who are going to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. And
Well, I mean, you've got the same thing, same month. You've got the people who are going to be purchasing, Godzilla vs. King Kong, the subscriptions as well.
Same month.
Right, same month, and they're not going to be able to sort of get numbers on that as far as like new subscriptions, because you're going to have people who buy a subscription to HBO Max this month and just start watching content or whatever, and getting ready for next month Zack Snyder, and also you have people that are fans of both, like want to watch Kong and Godzilla as well as the Justice League. So you can't really get to it. So what they're going to gauge is the watch time. How much is this particular 4-hour show going to be watched?
Yep.
How many views are they going to get? How much watch time is going to be tracked on their servers? So a lot of people are saying it's going to break the servers and all that kind of stuff, and they were saying the same thing about Wonder Woman 84. Like there was maybe a 30-minute window where they had some issues or whatever.
Down.
Yeah, it was down for a little bit. And that's just technology. It's bound to happen. I mean, same thing's probably going to happen with King Kong and Godzilla. Same thing's going to happen with The Matrix. Same thing's going to happen with Dune.
Other big stuff throughout the year.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like, this is, I kind of get tired of the term, break the internet. Cause it's like, I've never seen anything break the internet. Not even the whole Y2K crap that they were, toting around years ago. Nothing has broke the internet. The internet's still there. It's not going anywhere. Yeah.
I hope it doesn't, hope the service doesn't go down, but then I guess that's kind of a good sign that you're like, oh, everyone's watching it.
Yeah. No, hey, that would be, it would be frustrating, but also good.
Shut up.
There you go.
Yeah, it would be both. And especially if it's a midnight release and we're like trying to stay awake. I mean, I'm going to be excited, so I don't think I'll be like feeling tired. But do you think it'll be a midnight release?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. They might release it at 2:14 p.m.
Which time zone?
I mean, I don't like the midnight releases. I know that Nicotina does because he banks on that. And that's going to be something that he's, his midnight run thing is going to be super hyped for, and I've already been talking to Zack, and we're both like, nah, screw the Nicotina show. We're releasing at 2:14 p.m. So while he's at work, he's like, no. I've already called his boss and told him, hey, make sure this guy works. Make sure this guy works. So he's on the schedule. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know they've been doing that like with other movies, but those ones are getting dual releases. So I kind of understand, like the ones that are also in theaters. So I get that. But since this is probably not, I mean, it was also told that theater time is pretty much assured, but probably more limited since it's 4 hours. But I don't expect it to be the same day.
I'm thinking it's going to be, since it's 4 hours, I'm thinking it's because, and he's also made it in the IMAX format. I think it's going to be like a Fathom event or something where, when those places are open for business to the public, they're going to have it showing at the IMAX level because, IMAX has already hearted it and all that, so they're down.
Right. And Cinemark tweeted to someone like, stay tuned, or did you see that one recently?
I didn't see that one. I saw Walmart.
I saw that one too. Someone tweeted about, what did they say? I probably won't be able to find it. It was too long. It was a few days ago already.
So anyway.
They tweeted about watching it in theaters, and they said stay tuned or something.
Yeah, okay. You're talking about, what was it, TNT? Or?
No, someone had tweeted about
Cinemark
watching Zack Snyder's Justice League in a theater. Yeah. And like Cinemark replied and said something like stay tuned.
Well, Cinemark also has IMAX.
Yeah.
And so yes, they have access to that. So that is probably what they're talking about as well. But yeah, IMAX, itself liked it because, he shot, a lot of the movie in IMAX format. I don't know the whole movie, but I know a lot of it. And then, so it was, I don't know. I can't wait. And like I said, somebody's talking about the Suicide Squad, David Ayer cut, all that stuff. It all hinges upon Zack Snyder. If Zack Snyder's Justice League bombs, Ayer cut's goodbye. You can kiss the Ayer cut goodbye. You can kiss, all that stuff goodbye.
Because I was told that as well. Well, not well, yeah, pretty much. That this is like laying the groundwork for moving forward.
It is. If this is success, then you are going to have the David Ayer cut come out because they're already working on it, but they're not going to put it out. They might release it later on, like 20 years, whatever, kind of like they did with maybe not that long, but they'll release it at some point. Yeah. Because if they don't feel like there's a market for it, then they're not going to release it now. They'll release it later.
Thing to kind of show that people want what Zack has to offer, or like what he started.
Yeah. And that's basically what this is.
Approved for in theaters.
They approved this cut, and they were like, "Hey, you said your fans are going to show. Let's see."
Yeah.
And so it's up to us. We can tweet, we can retweet, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, thank you so much. Check out my content. Let me know what you think of that. I appreciate it. We can hype it up as much as we can put all the shirts out there for people to buy. But, when push comes to shove, if we're not watching the content, if we're not spreading the word to other people, like, hey, check this out, like I said, there are going to be things in this cut that I'm sure I'm not going to agree with, because I don't think that Zack Snyder is the end all. He's a creative. I like his work. But yeah, I'm going to nitpick, whatever, I take out the good, the bad, and then I give you my overall impression of the 4-hour flick. So,
yeah. Eric said, I don't see how this movie bombs with push behind it and hype. Well, yeah, that's kind of what me and Ryan are saying, is that for us that's what AT&T, that's what they're worried about, is that it's only kind of going to be his fan base that are interested in it. What they're worried about is getting like more of a general audience to watch it, since it's a unique situation compared to just releasing any other movie.
Right. They know that people like us are going to watch it, and we'll watch it over and over. And when the physical media comes out, we'll go buy that. But, if your neighbor across the street or down the way or whatever, they're not watching it, they don't care. That's a demographic that they want to get. But how do they get them if those people aren't aware and aren't interested? So, and these are huge properties.
Messing that up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And that's why Toby Emmerich is like, he doesn't want this to be a big success because it makes him look bad that they put what they put in theaters. It's just it just shows you again how reactive they've been. So that's what happened with David Ayer's cut. They were like, people really, they don't want the dark and dreary of BVS. They want something light. So the people that did the trailer that had the Queen music, let's pull them in. Let's have them recut the whole movie. And let's make some changes here and there or whatever. And they'll love that. We can't lose. And they didn't even allow him to be a part of it.
No, he was out because they were already the gears were moving. Everything was moving to go away from the Zack Snyder universe because the reception of BVS was not what they wanted. They were like, they saw the numbers that Civil War brought in, and then they looked at the numbers that BVS brought in, and they even cut their legs out from underneath them with BVS because they were, before BVS even released in theaters, they were like, oh hey, we're gonna have the extended cut on Blu-ray. That is going to be released not too long after. It's like, well, so I'm going to get a longer. Yeah. So, that's just bad marketing. All of those people should have been fired, and rightly so.
Yeah. And it's a stupid comparison for them to expect that they're both going to bring in the same amount of money, Civil War and BVS, because BVS was like so new in there. It's the second movie. In the universe. Like, it's not going to bring in the same amount of money as Civil War. They've already been making their movies for years at that time, But even so, even for as critically, torn apart as it was, and only being their second movie, it made almost $1 billion.
It made what, like 800?
870 something?
865, I think, was roughly around where it was. But that's still good money. But
that's what I mean.
But people are like, yeah, but this is Batman, Superman. It should have made $5 billion because it's Batman,
but
Superman.
It was so the critics like tore it to pieces.
Well, yeah, because and that's just that's the horrible thing is like these critics are so out of touch with the populace. Yeah. Like they come out and they're the ones that are like, here's a crappy movie that came from like an indie, circuit, and they're like, this is the best thing ever. And then you come out with like BVS and it's like, what in the world is this? This is a Frankenstein of a movie. Don't go see it. It has so many problems. And then and people listen to them because they're like, oh, well, you're Rotten Tomatoes, and I trust Rotten Tomatoes. So, I never do. I never listen to these people, man. No. It's just crazy. They're the worst people. I think Eric Z said something in the chat was like, there's no way that Zack Snyder's Justice League can be a worse film than. Yeah,
and that's the thing. It's definitely not going to be
narratively. It'll be better.
It could only be better.
Yeah. Yeah, but just because it's a better film, okay, just like BVS Ultimate Edition is a better film than the theatrical release. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are still people who don't know about it or haven't watched it, and they're like, well, it's the same argument. Well, BVS, right. I didn't like BVS, so why would I want to sit 30 minutes more? It's not
going to change.
It's not going to change it, but it does because it gives the story a little bit more time to evolve. And give you a little bit more context, or just more exposition for what is going on in the story. Mm-hmm. Do I still have problems with BVS? Yeah, I have problems, but overall, I enjoy it. I like it.
Yeah.
So
for sure, I can see how people. The person I got my information from has also seen roughly 45 minutes of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I don't know if that's like beginning, middle, where it is. But I was told that even just within that 45 minutes, which for a 4-hour movie is not that much, but it's a significant chunk. Even just in that 45 minutes, a lot of stuff is cleared up.
Yeah.
That should have been addressed. You know what I mean?
But even the person that said that they watched 45 minutes of it, I mean, that is minuscule compared to the executives that Deborah and Zack went in front of, showed the assembly cut, mm-hmm. and they watched it and they put $70 million behind it. Yeah. That has to say that narratively this thing is cohesive. Narratively, this thing is worth enough for them to say, I'm going to go ahead and listen to your fan base.
Yeah,
they could have said no. They could have said, thanks, but we'll pass. They could have said that, even though we're in this pandemic and all that. They could have still said, nah, we can probably do the same for $70 million. We can probably make a couple animated movies because we do really good on the animated front for mm-hmm. DC, and we can probably just put that 70 million. Take some of the really good ideas from your Justice League movie and just repurpose them, and we'll pay you on the back end or something like that. Not resurrect this 4-hour beast.
Yeah. Which is why, I mean, obviously I think they have faith in the fan base from what AT&T, what they were showing.
They've been interacting with the fans way better, more professional than Warner Brothers has ever done.
Yeah.
I mean, they engage, and that's great.
Mm-hmm. Which I definitely appreciate that. Like, I don't really give Warner Brothers any credit for this movie coming out.
Yeah. No, Warner Brothers doesn't get any credit because they don't have any financial stake in this thing.
Yeah.
And
if they wanted to, they could have released it.
They could have, but they decided
they could have even been like, okay, we'll give you your 214 or whatever.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't give
I agree.
Credit.
I agree.
They were told, okay, Toby and Mark, you need to make this call. Since Zack said he was the one who called him. It wasn't because he wanted to.
Yeah.
Obviously. So
he was like, hey, Zack, how have you been?
I wonder how you felt. Like, that's humiliating.
So I'm calling because I hear you have a movie that we haven't seen or something. Josh said something. It was crazy. He said it was trash, but I've heard otherwise. I'm sure that Toby was actually, I mean, before they went and saw it, he actually went and saw the movie with him. So I'm sure that's one of the reasons why he went back and was like, hey, Hamada, they've got something there, man. You're gonna really, wet your diapers when you see this thing. So he's like, shit, who can I cock block?
I know. Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, that's just the main problem, is that they want people outside of the fan base to be interested in it. But like you said, people have to know why it's different.
Yeah.
Or what it is. And that's the challenge, which I guess, Zack is kind of just, I guess, confident that the fans are.
I'm sure he's confident. I mean, he's optimistic. And the same thing is just like, we are a closed environment, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen too much, like when they were doing billboards, to sort of, get Warner Brothers attention. That was a lot of, trying to, sort of, bring awareness. Right. Well, since then, the fan base hasn't really rallied to do anything similar to that or like that. They've left it all on Zack's shoulders with, his black and white trailer, his color trailer, his little clips here and there, more images, a blurred image of Jared Leto, another image of Deathstroke, Joe Manganiello. I mean, he's they've really kind of let Zack take the reins and not been so, what do I want to say,
hovering.
Right. So, I mean, I think that in hindsight may not have been the right move for the fan base. So I don't know. I mean, maybe in the chat, like who all is in the chat that is actually interested in the Snyder Cut that only recently found out about it? I'd like to know that.
That's
I mean,
true.
Are there any people that are like, I just found out about it maybe after watching Wonder Woman 84, and then I'm like, well, what's going on here, and why was that a cluster mess? And
exactly, and that's another downside, is that Wonder Woman 84, I think they were putting a lot more faith that it was going to be a big hit, and it really wasn't.
It was it was a big hit. Numbers wise, it was a big hit.
Well, that's kind of what
critically,
what I was told is that internally they were kind of disappointed with the numbers. I know they put out there that it did better than they expected, but from what I was told internally, they were hoping that it would have done more, especially setting up for Zack Snyder's Justice League to get people more invested or excited, I guess you would say, like leading, they will kind of want this, okay, if this causes a lot of hype, then it'll kind of carry over to Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it really wasn't.
Well, I mean, I've heard conflicting information opposed to that, because I've heard that yes, it was good numbers. That's why they kind of jumped the gun and said, oh, we've greenlit Wonder Woman 3, and again, it was Zack Snyder produced as well. It was a joint venture with Warner Brothers Pictures, which they don't like him. Same thing with the new Batman movie coming out. That's got Zack Snyder and Ben Affleck attached to it as producing, but it's a Warner Brothers Pictures project. And they all want that to succeed because that's money. I mean, Batman prints money. But yeah, no, I've heard that they've gained subscribers, a good amount of subscribers, and those subscribers have stayed. They haven't canceled. And so they're kind of holding out and waiting on this. So the numbers that I've heard were actually good, but I mean, there's no barometer. So like, my source and your source are just kind of speaking out of, just, I mean, they can speculate because there's no box office mojo to really go off of that really confirm or deny which way it's going. Where's the needle,
Yeah. They didn't really release specific numbers for it, except for that holiday week or whatever, that it streamed more than like Soul and some of the other things or whatever. But it was kind of just a vague statement that they put out there publicly. Like, it did better than we expected. but I think they still had, from what I heard, even higher expectations. I mean,
I'm sure that they were hoping that it would do, like Joker and Aquaman, but I mean,
as far as as far as the streaming,
I know that's what I'm saying. As far as like engagement, because I mean, it's the same thing. It's if you go and watch Joker and you go for repeat viewings and you go and watch Aquaman for repeat viewings, that wasn't they didn't make $1 billion off of individual sales. They made their money off of return customers, return viewers. And that's the same thing with Wonder Woman 84 as far as tracking the amount of people that actually watch the duration of the film. Because they can track that a lot better than you would think, and the different accounts that are attached to it. What the account is watching. Who's watching in different regions. They have a lot of statistics that they can pull from this, and get a lot of really good metrics from it. So just because it didn't do. For one person, that it didn't do what they had thought or whatever, I mean, we can't really gauge that. There's no way for us to actually look at the numbers, and why would they release the numbers for anything? We're not even going to see the numbers for Zack Snyder's Justice League. They probably say, oh yeah, they didn't do as well as we thought.
The month numbers, like numbers for March, but it won't be specific towards.
I'm sure that they'll do that for Godzilla King Kong. They'd be like, Godzilla King Kong, here, look, it was the most streamed, blah, blah, blah. And they'll be advertising that everywhere and whatever. I mean, they're going to spin it however they want to spin it because this is internal. This is their company. They can do whatever they want. And at the end of the day, are they being truthful? Are they not? Are they being truthful with Wonder Woman 84? Are they not? Are they going to be truthful with Zack Snyder's Justice League? Are they not? With any movie, because, we don't have, there's no checks and balances. There's no third party that is actually checking, like, are these real numbers? Is this real? No, nobody's looking. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
They don't have to answer to anybody. They can just say whatever they want. At least with Box Office Mojo, they have to get actual numbers from the theaters and use those metrics to sort of show your audience. So, that's kind of out of play with this new streaming. We don't know we can't, as a fan, we can't measure success, monetarily,
So Chernobyl, what Freddie Mac is talking about is that there were executives who said that Zack Snyder's version of Justice League was unwatchable. So he's not referring to the theatrical version, which makes more sense for the theatrical version. But he's referring to there were executives who had said that about Zack Snyder's version, just to clear that up for you. Had it not been, I don't know. I mean, I think some people are talking about had it not been during a pandemic, what Wonder Woman 84 would have done. There's not, obviously.
It would not have made $1 billion.
It wouldn't have made, I still think the numbers would have been underwhelming for what they might hope. Yeah.
Just because of the product that they brought.
The same response, because we are all, it's the same movie we would have seen. So obviously it would have made more money because it would have been watched in theaters and all of that, like we're used to. But I still think they would have been underwhelming.
Yeah, it would not have hit what they wanted. It wouldn't have been up there with, Captain Marvel. It probably wouldn't have been up there with the first Wonder Woman movie.
No.
Because the first Wonder Woman movie was great. It was a good movie, except for the third act. I had issues with that. But overall, it was a great movie. It was better than, the Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 84 was fun. It was a fun movie. It had a lot of,
completely different
direction. Yeah. It was very Marvel-esque, if you will, because of Jeff Johns. And you saw his name pop up 30 times at the beginning credits. He really was, his teeth were sunk into that.
He was a lot more involved.
But there was a lot of it that was just really like, it set up rules and then it broke every rule that it set up, and it was just like, narratively it was dumb. The mall scene wasn't needed at all for the story. They could have just been archaeologists that, somebody found the bracelet or whatever. And I didn't understand why it was the stone that was important. It could have just been the bracelet that had the gods writing on the inside and the Latin on the outside, and they just could have, whoever wore the bracelet, had the power to be that, wish granter or whatever, and that would have been better. But but overall, it was a fun movie. Would I purchase it? No. Sure, I'd purchase it. I'd purchase it just to have it on the shelf. The only one I wouldn't, and I stand by, is Birds of Prey. I will never buy that movie. It is hot garbage. I know people like it. I know there are people who like it, and that's cool. It's cool if you like it. I have to preface that. What you find enjoyable is probably what I didn't find enjoyable.
Yeah,
about that.
Exactly. Yeah. Which goes back to like Marvel and DC. They're always going to be compared, just because they're competing franchises in the same genre. But earlier I was talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier. WandaVision has picked up a lot, in my opinion. As far as
it got interesting. The first 3 episodes were, I'm cool with a slow burn, but I was just like, I don't know. I like it. The Pietro. Oh shoot! Sorry, spoilers. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Well, I think it's been
Okay, well, hopefully people have seen it.
People were talking about it in the chat.
Oh, okay. So, it was. I was like, I called Pietro, but I didn't know it was that actor. I was like, oh snap! Yeah, that's what got me. That's what got me, because I was like, I knew it wasn't going to be Professor X, like someone claimed. We won't talk about that midnight person, but.
Well, there could still be people who continue to show up.
It could still. I'm just giving them a hard time until that happens. So
it was pretty cool. I think it's. Well, he definitely looks better. I'm glad they fixed his hair.
Yeah. His hair was always so silly. It was like that's a wig.
It looked.
I was like, dude, that's a wig. I'm sorry. It was horrible.
You could find tutorials on Instagram of people putting better wigs that look more realistic. I don't know why it looks so bad.
It looked horrible. I love the sequences where it's slow motion and he's playing around with things and I rewatched the clip and I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of physics fallacies in there, but I was like, I'll watch it. It's still enjoyable. The music to tie in with it is great in both films. That they do that sequence in. So I like it. I want to see what they're going to do with the Flash movie, how he's going to, sort of play that out. That'd be cool. Cause I just love speedsters. I like the first 2 seasons of the Flash. I thought those are great. And then after that, went downhill. But yeah, so, that was interesting. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier trailer, I'm interested. I didn't think it was kind of great. But
I didn't think
as far as their interaction, I thought overall it looks like it's exciting and vibrant,
the action,
fun. Yes,
all of that.
But their whole thing, when Winter Soldier is underneath a truck or a train or something, and Falcon, I think a 18-wheeler, and the Falcon's like, hey, what are you doing under here or something like that, and these, I was like, oh, okay.
And the staring contest, that's the
the staring contest.
Okay.
I was like, that should be a commercial, kind of like the Mark Hamill and Patrick Stewart commercial when they do in the Grubhub or the whatever that is. It just seems like that should have just been for the commercial, not in the show.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because Marvel does things like that.
Sure.
But at the same time, this trailer still looked interesting to me. I'm gonna watch it. It looks interesting. It looks more like it looked more like a movie trailer to me than a TV series.
Yeah. See, WandaVision is more of you
get more of this.
Well, because it's a sitcom sort of preface. They made it. They made it in that fashion. Even when they're outside of the TV universe or whatever, it still kind of looks very like a teenage, like a TV universe. It doesn't look very cinematic, whereas Falcon and the Winter Soldier still has that feel.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Which makes sense because I was also told the budget is more for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Despite
that's an easier sell though, because I mean it's just an action flick. It's like, and people already like the characters, whereas like Wanda and Vision, like they're characters that a lot of people didn't really care about.
Well, I mean, but did people really care about Falcon?
Not really.
Exactly.
Not really.
Like,
I mean, he was just like, the guy that was running with Captain America on your left. Like, hey.
Yeah, it's more of a sidekick character, which I mean, I don't mind his character, and I don't mind Anthony Mackie as the actor. It's not even about that. But they're not, I mean,
they're not mainstays.
Why they would be characters that would be used for a TV show and not like, it wouldn't make sense for them to like have a movie. Like that would be a little too far, I think, a stretch.
Because these are all, like you said, the sidekick characters, the second tier. Like your first tier is Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk. Just that's your. I'll even say Black Widow, but nobody, even Black Widow is nobody cares about this movie. Like, I mean, I heard it's coming out, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know.
I think that's gonna hurt it. Is that they've had to push it back a lot, and that they're most likely probably gonna end up having to do the Disney Plus thing again.
They're gonna move on the shit out of it.
Well, they might. Movie. I think they might do what the same thing as HBO Max, but you're gonna have to pay for it if you watch it on Disney Plus. But it's still gonna be released in theaters because that's what they're doing with Raya, the animated movie. It's doing both.
I watched Soul. I wasn't impressed with Soul. It didn't have a lot of soul. So I
thought it was kind of cute, but
usually Pixar movies have like that heart, and this just didn't have it for me. I was just like, eh.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it on par with like other Disney animated movies, know. But like, if they had put it in theaters, I don't know if it would have done very well.
If they put it in theaters, it would have bombed because it just wasn't that good. Just as a story. I mean, I like Jamie Foxx and I like the girl that played the little baby thing or whatever. She's cool, but I just the chemistry. I don't know. I mean, the story overall, I just didn't care.
I don't think it would have done as well as most of their animated
She is one of the most powerful characters ever. She should have been and they referenced that in the show. They were like, she could have taken out Thanos, but she was preoccupied with something else. And they're like, well, Captain Marvel hit her. And I'm like, yeah, but then she got punched. And that was the only time in the movie that I cheered. I was like, yes. she was such a douche in her own movie that I was like, there you go.
At least they showed her doing something that like on her power level.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I don't really like her as a character.
Her character was not. She wasn't.
Exciting.
Well, not okay. Yes, her movie was bland.
Yes.
There was no character growth.
But I think the blandness also came. Yeah, the story and her performance.
Yeah, because usually, so if you watch Marvel movies, they have a very cookie cutter formula. And Captain Marvel was the one movie that they didn't go with it because it was, and they sandwiched it between Endgame and Infinity War, but it didn't follow that cookie cutter formula. Yeah. And then, and so you could really see it for what it was, which was not good at all. I mean, they made her a douche. She was, I don't know. I just did not like her at all.
Yeah. I wasn't really interested from the beginning for that movie. I think a lot of it had to do with the casting, in my opinion. Like, she didn't interest me as the characters. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know too much about the actress Brie Larson. I don't know too much about her. The only thing I know is that she was in Kong, and she was maybe a little bit more likable in Kong. But Kong wasn't the greatest film. That's why I'm really I liked Godzilla. I liked all the monster parts in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and that's why I'm really interested in Kong versus Godzilla. But I know that Kong's going to win. But I just I don't recall. Oh, she was also in the movie Scott Pilgrim. She was in Scott Pilgrim. She played the evil X.
Okay. Well, Eric says that
And
she's also in Room.
I haven't seen
Incredible
Room.
performance. I never seen that either.
I haven't seen Room. But yeah, she was in Scott Pilgrim, and she wasn't. I think she was okay there. She was okay there.
Yeah,
she was a young actress.
I wasn't very interested in it. I just thought it was going to be another Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't like what they did with Nick Fury in that one.
Oh, the cat scratching eye thing was stupid.
Bothered me
It was so dumb.
Much. It bothered me so much. Like
cat scratch fever. But yeah, no, I was like, really? That's how this happened? Like there's all this buildup, like they even like mention it, in other movies or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you find out it's like, oh, okay. And it was for a laugh. I was like, okay,
as soon as the first cat scratch happened, I was like, I already know this off. It just took me out of it so much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was necessary for her to have a movie before, like, she was hardly even in an Avengers.
The Endgame, she wasn't even needed. She was like, they even referenced it, like, where have you been? Oh, well, Earth didn't have you awesome guys. I was out there in another part of the universe doing good.
Yeah.
It was like, what? Well, it's like, and when she was in the movie, she didn't even contribute anything other than getting punched in the face by Thanos.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
If she wasn't in the movie wouldn't have changed.
Yeah.
Endgame would have been the exact same it always was.
Yeah, then they used her to save Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Space, which like
they could have used Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know.
They could have somebody else.
My husband was like, it better not be her. And it was. No. And it was like, to me, her entrance, like the way they put it in the movie it was supposed
angelic.
It should have been like an applause-worthy entrance in the theater.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like when Wonder Woman came down and saved Batman. Like, every time I saw BVS in theaters several times, and every time I saw it, people were cheering.
Well, yeah, it's just like that one moment when Captain America picks up Mjolnir.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're like, yes,
No one made a peep in the theater when I saw it for Captain Marvel coming to save Tony.
She's not she's just not beloved.
Like, it should have been, it could have been a lot more climactic.
Yeah.
Or something if they had done it a different way, but.
I agree. I mean, I don't know if it was just horrible casting or if it was just, the wrong character to put in between.
Maybe if they had just done a better movie for her, it would have been a little bit more exciting to see her in Endgame and Infinity War.
Right. I think that was one of the things that sort of cut the legs out from underneath it, was that they wanted to squash it in between these two movies. So quality suffered because they were like, we have a deadline. And we also, not only that, she also needs to appear in this other movie. So these other directors are going to use her for their movie, and it's all going to be cohesive, and let's just get it out there. And it made a hell of a lot of money because the reason why is because there's that preface that every Marvel movie connects.
Yeah.
There was really no connective tissue to this movie.
Except Nick Fury.
That was it.
That was it. Yeah. Weren't the Guardians all dust? Not all of them.
Yeah,
right?
Not all of them. Not
all of them. And Thor was fine.
The raccoon was still alive.
And Thor was fine.
Yeah, Thor's fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he became Fat Thor. So, it was fine. And then he started playing Fortnite.
Yeah, so not all of them. And who else? I know Drax disappeared.
Yeah.
And Mantis, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't remember about Star-Lord there. Star-Lord.
Gamora, was she gone?
Well, she had already been sacrificed.
Oh, right. I forgot. Yeah.
Thanos already sacrificed her.
Yes. So they were saying like the Gamora that's in the galaxy now, or is not the same Gamora. She's from a different universe. Not that she's from a different timeline. She's from a different universe because she's alive or something. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again. I haven't watched it in years.
I think. Well, yeah, the timeline would have
the whole
changed.
timeline thing was screwed up, and a lot of people have problems. I kind of do a little bit as well with like Cap growing old and living his life and all that, and then kind of just sitting on a park bench. It's like if you have all this information and knowledge or whatever, and you're old. You would have seen all this stuff happening. You would have seen the New York attack, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, my dementia made me forget, but I remember I got to be in New York with the shield and something else, and the whatever this thing was that I had to go get."
It was like in that timeline, he chose not to be Captain America, right?
He chose not to be Captain America.
Yeah,
but even though he was still there. Because he didn't like boom back into the time. He lived his life.
He lived his life. Yeah.
And he lived his life. But even that, he's the same Cap that has the knowledge of everything that he did.
Yeah, he still has those memories.
He still has the memories of doing everything.
Like making a conscious decision to go give the shield to Falcon. Like
he would have met Falcon when he was running around. That's what lake.
I mean. Like he has all those memories.
Yeah, he would have been like, don't worry about that guy. Here's a shield. Just go get your Falcon gears. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, I already know about him. I'm old as shit. Like, just take the shield. And by the way, Thanos does all this, or he would have educated. He would have found some way to segue into their timeline and not just let everything go to shit and then been like, hey, I'm at a park bench after everything's said and done. That was dumb. Yeah.
I think a lot of people kind of took issue with that. Okay, it's fine. I think he's like, that was one thing that he wanted that he was never able to have was his life with Peggy Carter.
Well, he could have still had it.
He could have still exactly like
from World War One, World War One all the way up. All through World War Two. And through.
Well, if he would have never got frozen, I guess he could have just like not done that.
Yeah. I mean, he could have.
But he would have never thought that he died.
Yeah, what he could have done was found himself in the ice and just like took pickaxe and like found him and like don't save the world.
Them, like still alive or something.
Yeah. They could have done something better, but it's over. It's done. And no one that I've spoken with is like really looking forward to any of these new Marvel films like Moon Knight or what's some of the other ones? I can't. Miss Marvel, the Eternals. What else? I'm not getting a lot of buzz from any of these. It's like,
I think Black Panther 2 will probably be one of the bigger ones.
Black Panther, I've heard, is not going to be Black Panther 2. It's going to be a series. And from what I'm hearing,
the Wakanda series, because the person I talked to has also been working in that for quite some time. Mm-hmm. So there is going to be the Wakanda series, but
Morbius, that's Sony though.
I'm sorry?
Oh, Ifye was saying Morbius will be good, but Morbius is not in that universe. Yeah, Morbius is Sony.
Is not in the MCU. Yeah. But it will be good, I do think. It's kind of
I mean, I liked Jared Leto in that new movie, The Little Things. Mm-hmm. I liked it all the way until the end. I didn't agree with the end. But all the way up until then, it was great performances by everyone. Mm-hmm. I mean, Denzel Washington, I haven't seen really much that he's done that's not great. But yeah, Jared Leto's really good in it too. And the other guy, the guy that plays Queen, or not Queen, he doesn't play the whole band. He plays Freddie Mercury.
Rami Malek.
Yes, Rami Malek. He did pretty good. I liked him. Those are the three characters that I really kind of stuck with the whole time, through the film. Yeah. Everyone else was just kind of like, but they held their own.
Yeah, Morbius does look good. Sucks that it got pushed back all the way a year. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. But see, they don't have a platform, I don't think. Is that your source? He's like, Moon Knight is going to be fantastic. Put that out there, Mom.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if they do, I mean, guessing they'll be financially successful because they'll be Marvel. But
I don't know that they're going to have that weight.
I don't think
because it's not Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man.
It's not going to have the same hype.
What they're going to have to do is they're going to have to bring somebody in, you know, to like kind of like they did with Spider-Man Homecoming. You know, you have, you know, Tony Stark is coming in. He's Iron Man, and it's like, oh, Mr. Stark, and so yeah, people are going to go see it because it's got Robert Downey Jr. and it's got a new Spider-Man, so that's going to draw like. But, you know, like, okay, I see a couple of comments in here about Moon Knight being great and it's an amazing comic and all that. It's like, that's great. But like, you know, even like the same argument for like Zack Snyder's Justice League is you've got a lot of people who don't know who Moon Knight is. Like,
I don't.
Like who knows about Moon Knight? Like you have a niche audience that knows about Moon Knight. Same with Morbius. You have a niche audience who knows about Morbius. Is Morbius going to make a crap ton of money? No, it might be a good film, like somebody said that Freddie Mac was saying it might be a great film, and same thing with Moon Knight. It might be a great film, but if the properties aren't well known, then you've really got to do your marketing. You've really got to entice people to like want to see the movie, not just because they're just binging and it's like, oh, here's just, you know, I'm just gonna watch more media. There's a lot of stuff out there that gets released that people don't even, it flies by their radar. They don't even know it's even released. So, I mean, that's an uphill battle for Marvel, I think.
Right. And Eternals, I mean, I don't know how that went, but
the only thing I know about Eternals is Selma Hayek's in it. That's it.
I think the cast is probably what's going to help it because Angelina Jolie's in it also.
Okay.
So I think the cast will kind of maybe help, but I don't know. Salma Hayek's comment kind of made me laugh when she said that it's different from other Marvel movies, and it's shot in real locations.
Ah, yes, that's good.
That kind of made me laugh.
We're gonna be on real planets that aren't in the solar system. That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope they're. Did they live? Are they dead?
Well, she said they were able to find very extraterrestrial looking locations to shoot.
Okay.
So
I'm interested. I'm interested. Yeah. Maybe they'll add some sort of filter and make it look, you know, a little bit more otherworldly.
I guess that's true. So, Guardians of the Galaxy probably wasn't one of the more.
That's because to be honest with you, but it was sort of, but the difference with the Guardians of the Galaxy was that Marvel films were coming out and they were hitting. And so everybody was like, oh man, you got this one and this one and this one and this one. And people were like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy, I'll give it a whirl. But we're not in that situation for Moon Knight. And,
I think the timing of it helped it probably.
Like it did because everybody was like, these are great films. Let's go back. It's another popcorn flick, right? You know, Moon Knight, from what I've heard, is more like a kind of like a Batman kind of character or whatever. But you know, maybe some mystic things going on with him as well. But I mean, and I know, and it's got Oscar Isaac, so you know, you got Poe Dameron there for the people who, you know, like his character. And so there'll be a little bit of fan following and interest in all that, but it's not in the same situation like Guardians of the Galaxy, unless like Falcon and Winter Soldier hit and everything that comes out before it is just like, you know, getting people hyped up for it.
Yeah, because they're using their series as kind of like part of their phase 4.
If it were to release this month, no one would see it. In the theaters, I'm saying, if the theaters were open and it was releasing this month, and WandaVision was just on, you know, Disney Plus like it was always planned to be, and Moon Knight was released in the theater, it would make money, but it wouldn't make Guardians of the Galaxy money.
Yeah, those movies were very successful financially.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, on one side, they could do well just because they're Marvel. And they know the, you know, but
Marvel, the brand is trusted. Yeah, I can agree with you with that. Marvel brand, they're like, okay, you know, we haven't really had much stinkers other than, you know, maybe Captain Marvel, perhaps. I mean, there's a couple things I like about Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2. they're not the greatest. They're Ant-Man #1 was the first thing.
The first one.
It was that same cookie cutter formula where it was like, hero, villain, climax, end or whatever. It was, and I think Doctor Strange came around the same time, and I was like, it was the same thing. It was like hero, villain, ultimate fight or whatever. But it was just kind of like, okay, it's that same thing. What I liked most about Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2 was what was that guy's name? His best friend, Pena.
Oh yeah.
His character was great, and when he would recount the past events, oh my god, I love that. Was the best part of the whole thing. That's what made the movie, both of those, for me, because that's the part I was waiting for. I love those sequences. They're great.
Yeah. Well, I'm coming up on the 2-hour mark here, so probably gonna wrap it up. So we'll just get some final comments in here.
Sure.
Before we leave, but I want to thank everyone for joining the live stream tonight. And I mean, it looks like Zack's going to continue to share stuff until the trailer comes out. So if you don't want to see more, I don't know, you might have to stay off.
It's going to be hard. Yeah. It's going to be hard because I mean, like I said, that Steppenwolf shot, of him battling the Amazonians. I was like, oh my god, everybody's retweeting it. I can't see that. I cannot unsee this. So yeah. And even though I'm like, I know the trailer's coming out, I'm gonna watch the trailer on 2/14. So
and it might be in there if it's a red band trailer.
Yeah, because it is rated R. So
yeah,
and that's another thing that is awesome, but it also could hurt because some parents might be like, "No, you're not watching the rated R version of Justice League," and deny the kids that.
Well, I think there's probably more rated R stuff that kids have seen.
Well, that's unfortunate, but I can agree with okay.
Not in a good way, but I mean, there's kids who watch like some scary stuff.
Yeah.
Like horror.
Well, parents today aren't like my parents. My parents like shielded me from all kinds of stuff when I was a kid.
No, yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from.
Parents are more lax today.
But I mean, like, this is not one of those movies that's like rated R all the way through. There's just like certain stuff about it that will kind of push it into that rated R category. It's kind of like BBS, the Ultimate Edition, is rated R, but it's not like the whole movie is like.
Well, I Ben Affleck's butt, in the movie.
Well,
that's rated R. Boom.
Blood and some more.
And then in the Justice League, you're gonna have Gal Gadot's butt. So it's like what happened? It's gonna it's making so much money. I'm just joking. There's no butt.
Well,
unconfirmed.
Yeah. Yes. Glad you're able to make it too, Freddie. But trailer coming out Sunday in the morning. Well, it'll be morning for some of us.
Yeah.
9:14 a.m. Pacific time. But like I said, you might have to stay off social media if you don't want to get anything else revealed.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Share clips.
Yeah.
Not just stills. But I'm excited. We've waited this long.
Yeah.
And for me, it's hard not to want to see what he's sharing.
Yeah.
I
agree.
People that are like, I want to wait, which you guys have more self-control than me if you are able to wait, because I don't.
Well, it was easier for me with like Aquaman because at the time I wasn't covering anything. And so, I paid attention to my work days, went off, interacted with my family and that was it. That was it. I was like, I'm done, so I went in fresh and I got to tell you, it was so refreshing to watch it without, spoilers from the film. And I loved it.
Did you see the trailer that they did his suit reveal? Or did you see that for the first time in the movie?
I saw it for the first time in the film.
See, and
yes,
that was one thing that I think they should have saved for the movie.
Yeah, I didn't even, because they were working on that same, they made alterations. They were working on that same suit for Zack Snyder because he was already, building that out, doing concept art for that. And they made some changes and they put that into that movie. You're going to see that outfit, I believe, in Zack Snyder's Justice League. You're going to see Atlan in the
we'll see King Atlan. Yep.
Yeah, in the history lessons, and so I mean, I can't wait for them to finally come out and show us. And what I'm most curious about is the Atlantean language, or their speech. That's what I'm most interested in. So, and not for the whole movie, but I mean, I want to know, how are they going to resurrect Superman? What's, Cyborg's, deal in, how is he connected now, and what's going to happen with him? Because we're going to get more of his backstory, more of his family dynamic and things like that. So I'm very interested in that. And then, also the Flash, we'll see what his character actually is. He's like, I need friends and I'm awkward and, whatever. And we're not going to see that, so it'll be interesting. I'm definitely, I love the way that James Wan handled the world building. It was kind of like
great job.
I went and saw the movie in IMAX, and it was like I was in a big aquarium. It was awesome. I love the how vibrant it was, because it was underwater. Yeah. So I dug it, and I have a poster of it in my theater room. So yeah. It's a very cool movie.
No, they did a great job that's a very challenging environment to try to make a movie people have to talk without looking and sound like, you want it to sound like they're underwater, but you have to be able to understand what they're saying. Like, their movements have to look convincing. It's a really hard, that's a very challenging.
The rigs that they had them in, which was very similar to the rig that Ezra Miller wore as the Flash in the Superman battle, where he was like
that
able to rotate.
And they're like,
yes,
it can do all this stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to be really creative and thinking of stuff that they've never had to do before for movies, because how many movies are not the whole movie's not underwater, but a lot of it is. And
and that's why they had to change it from Atlantean voice.
They're not just in the ocean.
Yeah, because the whole movie would just and that would have been really hard to translate. And people would have got lost in the theater. Like, I don't know what's going on. I think Orm is his brother, and he's fighting for the right to be king. That's what I get.
Was it Zack or Joss who did Bubble Talk? It was.
It's supposed to be like clicks and noises and yeah. So they do use bubbles to talk. They do use some English, but to do that for a whole movie, it's like that's not feasible. That's why I was okay with James Wan saying, what, they can just talk underwater. And there's a bit of an echo when they talk, so that you can kind of give a little bit of weight to it or whatever, because their lungs are able to push in and breathe, so they're also able to talk. So
they kind of explain that too with the dialogue. Like, they made it to where the highborns are able to breathe on land and underwater. Yeah. So that's why when you really only see them talking underwater.
Right.
Until they go into that, then they kind of take some time to where they're like, okay, they are in that air pocket with the
bubble with the ship.
Yeah. So. Okay, I'm coming right now.
Oh no. The boss is there.
All right. Well, I gotta head out.
Yeah. I'll take it from here.
I'm sure we'll have plenty more to talk about as the week goes on. Of course, on Sunday when the trailer drops. Yeah. So you guys, there'll be a lot to talk about still. But I want to thank Ryan Zieberfett for joining me. Before we leave, go ahead and let people know where they can find you. You got a new sub tonight, so congrats.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, I'm very appreciative to all my subs. So please, don't just sub, check out my stuff. Let me know what you think, if this is the kind of content that you're into. I do a lot of reviews with myself and my son. And we watch a lot of DC stuff. We just did Throne of Atlantis, actually. So that's going to be released sometime, I'm hoping this week. We're editing it right now, and we did that, and we did a review of the new Justice Society animated movie that's coming out, World War II, sometime this spring. So looking forward to that. And just follow me at Zieberfett, and go to my YouTube channel, Zieberfett. It's like it's spelled on my shirt. And appreciate it. Hey, thanks for inviting me. And this has been great.
Sorry, I'm reading myself. Yes, absolutely. You're always welcome on the channel. We're always happy to have you. And you always have good stuff to say. So yeah, make good conversation. So you're always welcome. Thank again for joining us tonight. Make sure you go subscribe to Ryan's YouTube channel and follow him on Twitter so you can see him making all kinds of funny photos.
Oh yeah, I did a couple of memes of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can definitely, if nothing else, go check out my Twitter account. I've released at least 4 to 6 images of Allie.
And I retweeted them, so it's like
in compromising positions.
Oh, sounds worse than it.
It does, but it does pique interest, and you squashed that.
If you guys follow me on Twitter, you probably
they're like, what? Let me check this out.
Thanks, Eric. Glad you were able to stick with us through the stream.
Yeah.
Before you guys go, there's a link to my merch in the description. If you're interested, go ahead and check it out. I should have some interesting, exciting, fun news sometime around the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'll keep you guys updated on that around that time. But anyway, thanks guys so much. Hope you all have a good night or a good day, good morning, wherever you are. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, follow us on all those channels, and we'll see you.